Welcome to piano. I'm excited today. Today we are learning an iconic piano piece by Scott Joplin called The Entertainer. And this one is a classic, super recognizable. And you've finally reached that level in your level 1 book to be able to learn it. And you're gonna love it because there are certain things in this piece, this adaptation of the original, that is gonna make your life so much easier. So let's start looking at that, right? Before we do that though, if you don't mind liking and sharing this video, you know, when I have a chance to reach more piano learners who are looking for a teacher like me, magic happens. So go ahead and share. All right, next, of course, not join YouTube, subscribe. I'm missing my words today. So subscribe here on YouTube, super easy. It's like right below this video. Hit the button so you can get reminded of any new piano lessons coming up, or if you just want to make sure you have access to my library of piano videos to learn from, okay? Very good. Next, join Discord. Yes, Discord is fun because that's the heart of my piano learning community. That's where you get to post videos of yourself playing your songs for feedback, right? So I will give you some comments on your playing, let you know what's working, what's not working, what needs some improvement. And if you just need like a really good cheerleader, like I'm there, right? So join our Discord server, okay? Very good. And last but definitely not least, I operate on Patreon. So Patreon is how I earn my living. So if you find that you are loving the way I teach, then why don't you join Patreon? That monthly pledge that you send me helps me pay for things like lights and my electricity and my internet and my software and all of these things, right? Make sure that I'm able to keep this going. So those of you who have made the commitment on Patreon, thank you. I could not have done this without you. So join today. All right, fantastic. We've talked about all the stuff. Let's start getting into the good stuff, okay? Let's open our books to page 140 and 141, and we're gonna get started. So Scott Joplin, amazing American composer. He was the father of ragtime music, okay? He was born in the state of Texas, so proud Texan, and he learned piano growing up, and he was just so incredibly talented. So we have some really interesting things about this beautiful and fun and entertaining entertainer. He actually noted in his actual music that the tempo, although many times you'll hear this being played very quickly, in his original score he wrote not fast as the tempo, okay? So we are not going to play this a fast way. We're going to keep true to the original composition here in his score and be able to play this nice and steadily, but not quickly, okay? Very good. Now, looking here at the very top of page 140, they gave us a very good line of left hand warm-up to figure out the pattern of how this is going to go in this piece. So let's actually begin there on that warm-up line. I'm going to switch to piano view and let's get started. All right, here we go. So at the top of 140, like I mentioned, there's one practice line right here. We're starting in a C position. So if you're familiar with those primary chords that we've learned in our book before, we're going to be starting there with that C position, okay? Our pattern goes as follows. We have a C chord in a broken presentation. That's C, G. Then the next one we have is another version of a seventh. We have C, then we have E and B flat. Okay, that's a tritone, right? Next measure, we have a C with an F and A staccato and down to E and G. Okay, now if you look at that C, F, A, that's our 4 chord. And then down to this E and and G, that's a 1 chord, right? So those first 2 measures in your warm-up. Ready, go. Rest. So there it is, okay? Moving on, our hand is going to shift up 1 note to a D major. So we're going to move our left hand up with pinky finger 5 on that D. Our finger 3 will be on an F sharp, okay? Now this is a chord progression that happens in our second half of this entertainer. So it goes something like this. We have D, F sharp, and A. That's a D major 1 chord. Then we have a G by itself, down the octave G, A, B. Okay, let's play measures 3 and 4 of that warm-up line once more, and we'll see what it sounds like. 1, 2, ready, play. So there's that warm-up line. How are you feeling about that warm-up? Are you starting to hear the song? I know you're probably like, I think this is it. I think I'm getting it. You'll be able to hear it very soon, okay? So keep that warm-up line as you're practicing this piece. The more that you play that line, the more comfortable you're going to get with that left hand chord progression. I almost said left horn. That's funny. All right, let's jump into the introduction now, okay? Now looking at the beginning here, the first thing I actually see, 4/4 time, so that's good. We know these time signatures for real. We also see an 8 VA, so we're going to be playing this very first measure up 1 octave. Okay, now if you remember, up an octave means you're going to be playing up 8 notes higher than what you see on the page. So if I see a finger 4 on my D, which is close to my G position, right, then that means we're going to be going up an octave higher than that. So I'm going to go to the very next D, okay? I'm going to go ahead and switch to piano view so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? First measure, we see that D, finger 4, right here on our piano. But that's not what it says to do. We have to play up an octave higher than that. So I'm going to shift my right hand way up here. And then we have a note, a melody pattern to follow. We have D, E, C, A, hold, B, G. Yeah, do you hear it? Awesome! Yeah, so there we go. That's what it is, an octave higher. Let's play it once more, and then we're going to shift our hand down the octave to keep going. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. D, E, C, A, hold, B, G, down. D, E, C, A, hold, B, G, down again. D, E, C, A, B, left hand, A flat, G, rest. We have a V7, D, D sharp, and that's the intro, right? Sounds good. Let's shift back up, and we're going to do this again because that's a little bit quick. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Going, huh? Are you hearing it now? It's so much fun. All right, so practice that introduction. Get it at a tempo that's steady, but not fast, okay? It's fun being able to play that little melody in different octaves, right? We can even start high. It's just fun to do over and over, huh? Now we're going to continue here into measure 5. This is the bottom of page 140. Measure 5. This is line 3. Okay. Now, looking at this, I want you to see if you recognize something. Look at the left hand. Do you remember our warm-up from the beginning? Yes, our warm-up is right there. Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put my left hand in that C position. We'll switch to piano view. And we're going to just play it, right? Let's play all of line 3, then all the line at the top of page 141. That'll be line 4, okay? You're going to notice these notes look very familiar. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. 1 chord, rest. B7 chord, rest. C with a third. Rest. There it is again. Rest. And I'm going to stop right there. Didn't you recognize that? Yes, it's all from the warm-up. So it's sounding familiar already. That's a great thing, okay? Now we're going to move on and keep going here on the second line of the second page. And you're going to see that this is actually the second half of your left hand warm-up, okay? It's now in D major, and it continues with those staccato G all the way back to your C. So let's keep going, okay? We're going to start here on the second page, second line. That would be considered measure, let's see here, what measure is that? Measure 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, measure 11. Okay, here we go. Left hand in D major, pinky finger 5 on our D. I see the F sharp, so I'm going to already have my finger 3 ready to go with F sharp and A. I'm going to count off. 1, 2, ready, play. D, F sharp. Then G, down the octave G, A, B. Now we're back to the original warm-up. Very nice. There it is again. E and B flat. Rest. 1 chord, rest. V7 chord, rest. Rest. Now we're going to shift our left hand up to middle C. 1, 2. Now middle C and B flat. Hold. Then A and C third. Down to A flat and C. Now we have a G and C. Rest. V7. Rest. Try it. 1, G, A, B. Oh. And look, there's a repeat sign. Do you know where that repeat goes? Can you answer the question? Where does it go? Do we go back to the beginning? Where do we go? Nope. We go back to measure 5, right? You know when we recognize that left hand warm-up pattern at the very beginning on the first page? There is our other repeat sign. That's going to be where you bounce back to, okay? I tell my piano students that are children, think of it like bouncy balls. The bouncy balls are the double dots, right? And they bounce back to the other double bar with bouncy balls. So it's like pinball, right? They go boing, 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 boing. So that's why everything inside of those repeat signs is going to be played again. So let's go back and put at measure 5 a nice star, because that's where you're going to go back to, okay? When you're doing the repeat, you go all the way through again until you get to that first ending. You see the first ending. You're going to do a leapfrog. That means you're going to skip over the first ending and go to the second ending, okay? Now that second ending is quite fun because we have our C triad, then we have a G, then we have a low C. And it's the perfect ending for this song, for sure, okay? Yes, okay, so you have already learned the left hand of the entertainer, which is quite fun. So now we get to go into the fun stuff, which is that syncopation in the right hand, okay? You know that syncopation is where it's like things on the upbeat are having the beat instead. The big beat is being held, and you've got something on the upbeat instead. All right, that happens several times in several musical songs that we've learned before, but not in a song so famous as this one. So let's start at measure 5. Right hand, listen for that syncopation, and we'll do some note names, okay? Let's get it done. All right, so finger 1, we're actually going to look at the measure before. In measure 4, the final beat, you see the D sharp at the end of line 2. We're going to start there. We have a D sharp, and then a finger 1 on your E. E, C, right? So how the counting works is 1, 2, and 3, 4, and yes. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. C, D sharp, E, C, D, E, hold. B, D, C, 2 and 3. Okay, I'm going to go back to that pickup over here at the end of measure 4. I'm going to see if I can work that counting out a little bit more simply for you, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. D sharp, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. C, D sharp, E, C, D, E, hold. B, D, C, 2, 3. Okay? So that interval that you're seeing there at the beginning of measure 5 for the right hand is a 6th. Okay? We have that EC is a 6th. Okay? Make sure you keep your hand open enough to play that interval. Okay? Very nice. As we continue, at the top of page 141, that theme happens again. D sharp, E, C, E, C, E, C, same rhythm, okay? Then it begins to change. Okay, so let's start at the top of page 141, and we'll go through those notes together, okay? All right. Here we go. The pickups to that theme again. We have 1, 2, 3. D sharp, E, C, hold. E, C, hold. E, C, hold. 2 and 3. A, G, F sharp, A, C, E, hold. D, C, A, F, and D. 2, 3. Back to the theme. D sharp, E, C, hold. E, C, hold. E, C, hold. 2 and 3. C, D sharp, E, C, D, E, hold. B, D, C, 2 and 3. Let's keep going. C, D, E, C, D, E, hold. C, D, C, E, C, D, E, hold. Hold. B, D, C, 2, 3. Then we go back down to that D sharp. And now you do your repeat back to measure 5. 2, 3. 2, 3. Here we go, second section. F sharp, A, C, E. 2, 3. 2, 3. and 3. Here we go. Hold. 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 Second ending, 2, 3. And that's the end. So what'd you think of the right hand? I know some of that syncopation can be a doozy, okay? So make sure that you're taking the time, if you need to line up the big beats with a line from the right hand down to the left hand, okay? I can show you what that looks like. That way you can see that it's lined up correctly, okay? Let's see, I'm going to show you this measure here. You see how I drew lines? That's how you know that the big beats in the left hand are going to match up with those right hand notes, okay? All right, excellent. Guess what? Now we're going to try hands together, okay? I will play it 2 times through because that's what's written in the music. Guess what? But my tempo's not going to be crazy. It's going to be manageable, okay? Let's play it through together. All right. Up the octave. Here we begin with the entertainer in the adult all-in-one level 1. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. I told you it was fun. Yay, very nice. So there you have it, The Entertainer, a lovely and accessible adaptation of a Scott Joplin classic. So have fun practicing. I can't wait to hear you on Discord. Show me your skills, show me what you've been working on, and have fun, all right? Thanks so much for joining me for today's lesson. Again, if you haven't joined Patreon, maybe consider doing so now at this point. You've been learning piano with me for a good long while now. I would sure appreciate that monthly support, okay? Thanks again. I will see you all very soon. Have a lovely time practicing. Bye.